Hey guys, I'm back with Adam and Kevin. You guys are where are you guys originally from? Like
East Coast.
East Coast.
New York, New Jersey.
New York.
Yeah.
Okay. And now you guys are working on the West Coast here in LA. What are some of the differences, or what are some of the similarities between working East Coast versus West Coast?
I mean, I think, well, first of all, it's the space. Like here, you're driving hour and a half to locations. You know, New York is very like confined.
Huh.
You know, it's only like 20 miles or 10 miles or whatever. But one of the things that we did find is we noticed that like it's harder to film out here a little bit, permitting and all that type of stuff. It seems that our production managers and APs are, you know, have a little bit more hard time like getting locations than we do in New York.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's a little bit, it's kind of silly. So most of the people that I know are a little bit smaller. They are owner-operators. Their offices are their apartments. And so all of my gear is in my apartment on the 4th floor up. And whenever I have a shoot, I have to take all of my gear, walk down 4 flights of stairs, go into a cab, and then go off to a location.
Into a cab.
Where else would I go?
Right. You can see, and I'm originally from the West Coast. I've never been onto the East Coast, so when you say cab, I'm like, wow. So yeah, okay.
I've also taken an RE kit, a camera, sticks onto a subway car, and gone half an hour to a shoot.
Wow. That's eco-friendly for a shoot,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
I think the first time I met you, you had like a slide. He had like we were doing this documentary, and none of us had ever met, and he had like come off of the subway, and I guess you didn't realize how far away the Brooklyn Navy Yard was from where the thing was. And he had a slider slung over him, a tripod, his camera. Like he just like came with like all these things like sweaty, and he was.
And it
like,
was probably 100 degrees outside.
Oh wow.
So it's different getting around. You do use cabs. Here it's like it seems like it's so easy to just like rent a grip truck, and like that seems like the normal. Like you go to a rental shop, they're like, oh yeah, you have the whole grip truck and the driver.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
one-ton.
Yeah, like whereas like you know in New York it's like you got to rent a 15 passenger from the car rental place, and then you have to go to the first place to pick up your lights, and then the camera's probably somewhere else, and it's a little bit more disjointed. You can't do as much. I feel like here we've been pulling off like 3-4 locations a day because you just drive everywhere and you just shove the stuff back in the truck and you go to the next location.
I mean, are there any like rental houses or?
Oh, certainly.
Like,
Yeah, there's tons of them.
Are there? Okay.
Yeah, it's also cheaper to rent in New York.
Yeah, it
Is
is.
it?
We've learned that. We've learned it's almost some of the stuff that we were looking at here is almost like a 200% like increase
Wow.
from what we would normally have back on the East Coast.
Do you have a reasoning for that? Maybe. I mean,
It makes no sense to
makes
me.
it makes no sense.
More
Yeah.
saturated market here, maybe.
Yeah, probably.
But I feel like that would drop prices. It makes no sense to me.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's just the whole you're shooting in LA, and I guess there's people come to LA. That's weird.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
versus,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, we're more TV commercial in New York, whereas here is more like film narrative type stuff.
Right.
Yeah. There also seems to be a lot more corporate stuff in New York. So like I do a ton of talking heads, and when I said that when we were back at the production office, no one knew what I was saying.
You
Like,
know-
what's
really
a talking head?
Yeah.
It's like, well, it's when you have the camera and
Right.
someone's talking to the camera.
'Cause all the financial institutions and stuff, there's so much of that work that you can do
Wow.
in like New York, just all the corporate and magazine and all that stuff that they all still need content now, especially in the digital age. If you don't have content on the web, you're pretty much irrelevant. So there's a lot of that going on.
And so, have you guys shot anywhere else as well besides the East and West Coast, like maybe Midwest or maybe somewhere foreign?
I mean, personally, I've shot all over the U.S. I do a documentary show that takes me all around, and I also have shot in London, Paris, Milan, a lot of like Fashion Week and fashion type spots. So but New York is its own beast.
Right. If you had to pick a place, where was your favorite place shooting?
I'm so torn. I love New York, but I kind of love it here too. So I like if I could have the weather here in New York, I'd be okay.
Awesome. And
I'm a New York boy.
yeah.
I'll sit in New York. I'll hang out. I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So this is the end of this segment. So we have one more question. Hope you come back.